Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, where we talk about all things real estate and you know, stuff exposed. We expose everything here. My name is Vandana Bhalla. I am one of the co-hosts here, corporate broker at Signature. To my right is not Brandon Roberts. He may look the same, but he's not.
Wow.
It is Mr. Christopher Bishop. He is the general manager at Signature Real Estate Group. He is also a co-host of the Weekenders. So today we're doing a little cross collaboration.
Contamination
also what I'm
or
calling,
collaboration?
Well, you stole my thunder. Can you shush?
Sorry.
Can we redo this?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I get a bite in a
cross contamination.
Contamination?
Yeah. Cross contamination.
Be careful, you're in the middle.
And to
you
his
might get
right,
whiplash. Sorry.
I'll wait. Is
Who's keeping tabs?
Shelly Panzarella. She is a little drunk today?
No. It's raining outside.
Oh, is that what it is? You drank
It's all
some
the
of the
oxygen.
water from the rain?
Hydrogenation.
Hydrogenation. Yeah. So today's show is a nice cross-contamination of Real Estate Exposed and The Weekender.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us
So
today.
do we just roll right in from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, or what's this look like for us today?
Except that The Weekender starts at 3 o'clock? 3:30.
3
3
o'clock.
o'clock. It starts at 3 o'clock.
So yes, we are rolling right in.
Pretty much. We
Can
have
we
a
take this an hour
30-minute,
and a half?
we have a 30-minute gap.
I will say the introduction
I got 2
for me
minutes.
was at first, so I liked it. I don't know what his problem is.
So here we go. Let's talk about some stats, you guys. Let's do some stats. All right. So new listings are 769, down a lot, actually. I think from last week, about 400 listings.
I mean, does it really matter at this point?
No.
Inventory's down. Can't find any good listings. Buyers are upset. I mean, you know.
So here's the only thing. Brandon usually is like the Mr. Positivity of the whole thing. So if you're sitting in that seat, you got to sell us.
Yeah.
You got to tell us.
And you got to
Two
check.
sides to a coin.
And you got to sign all of your
where's your
commission
computer?
instructions during the show.
Nope.
Check your
You're
emails
going to
while
have
you're
my
doing it.
undivided attention.
Whoa, this is
Ooh.
weird.
We might need to pull in some paperwork right
This
now.
is
Let's get some
We're kidding, Brandon. We know you're watching us from Costa Rica. All right. And then we've got sold 1,052 homes that have sold, or 1,053, as
Is that
I
since
said
last
that.
week?
Oh, from 7 days, yeah.
7 days, okay.
7 days. It was 7 days. So what we do here, and I know you watch the show all the time, Chris.
Yes.
So
Pressed against the screen.
one of the things, what part? One of the things that we do.
He didn't get that. See, he's not
Yeah.
at our level.
Sickos.
Exposed.
Exposed.
This is exposed. Get used to it. It's not the Weekender where it's like super soft and like
See, and
lighthearted stuff.
Super soft.
And here's the thing, by the way. If you were wearing your headphones, you'd know that you have to speak into the mic.
If I get any closer, I'll have to eat it.
We just...
I haven't had lunch yet either.
Can you
All
hear
right.
me now?
Hello?
So what we do is we guess to see how much the least expensive and the most expensive home that sold in the last 7 days.
So I usually suck at both sides. So
Correct. So start with the least expensive,
30,000.
86,000.
45,000.
That was
Closer.
close.
Okay. So 45,000.
I was over, so I guess you win.
Yes. Price is
The
right.
over under type of thing.
Yep.
All right. And then homes that sold at the highest price point in the last 7 days.
3.8 million.
3.2 million.
Shut up, Shelly. Seriously? How did you guess that wrong again? It was 3.975.
Did you know that?
No.
You didn't come prepared, did you?
No.
Really?
I have
He
no
checks
notes.
his
You're like a
stats.
realtor. I think you look at this stuff every day,
Some
right?
days.
Do you look at your stats every day?
Every single day.
I look at
Do
them
you?
here on this show every
Yeah.
day.
Every
I get on the
week?
scale and it tells me how fat I am.
Same.
So that home was in McDonald Highlands.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the same thing
Was
last
that an
week, too?
inside job or an outside job?
Was it the same house twice? It just
no,
fell out of escrow?
No. It was not an inside
like it's
job.
Groundhog's
It was
Day.
an outside job. But it did take 50 days
You said-
from listing to close. What'd
I'm
you say?
sorry not to go off to Groundhog's Day. Did you see they came out with a new one? But
A
it's
new
like
day?
a new ground. No, it's not a new day. It's Groundhog's Day, but it has machine guns and machetes instead. Have you seen that?
No.
It's the only movie they released on In Demand this week.
What?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Seriously, got to check it out. I haven't watched it
All
yet. I'm
right.
waiting.
All right.
Is it
But
called
that's what it says.
Groundhog's Day?
It says same theme to Groundhog's Day.
Interesting.
Groundhog's Day.
Can I ask why
You
I'm the
got
only
it.
one wearing these atrocious headphones?
I don't know, but he's the only one not wearing the Golden Knights today.
Did you know that it's
Did you
game
know that
day?
there's a game tonight?
Gold Knights underwear.
Go.
Check it. Let's see.
Nope.
About this is
Pictures or it
exposed.
doesn't exist or it didn't happen.
Show
and
it,
that's
Bishop.
how it all started, officer. I'm not sure.
All right. So a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. One, I mean, sad to say, but there was a real estate agent that was murdered in Florida. Did you
Yeah.
guys know that?
I saw
No.
that on
Super sad.
Facebook.
Over $1,000. A teen shot him for $1,000, and so
So not
I think-
because of an open house or a showing, just that was like a hostage
it
takeover
said
type
that
thing, or-
he forced a real estate agent to drive to an ATM to take out $1,000 at gunpoint, and before the teen fatally shot the man inside a car in Fort Lauderdale last month, something happened. I don't know.
So-
but I think the sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, have you ever seen that thing where they say if you put your PIN number in backwards, the ATM notifies the police that something's wrong?
No, I didn't know that.
didn't
I don't know
that
if it's
either.
true or not, but it was on a thing like safety things to think about. You know, if you ever get held at gunpoint and they take you to an ATM, if you input it backwards, like what if your PIN is the same backwards or forwards, but it says it notifies the machine
Is that
there's a problem.
false
and-
advertisement?
So here's
know
the
if it's true or
weird
not.
thing, though.
Tom
Here's
is actually
here's the weird thing. I don't remember my PIN number. I haven't been
Same.
to an ATM in
yeah, I didn't even know those
years.
things
Oh, really?
existed.
Yeah.
So like when I go into the bank and they, I ask them
You just
for
like
some
to talk to
stuff.
people.
Well, yeah. So when I go into the bank and I ask them for some stuff,
Sorry.
they ask me to put in my PIN. I'm like, I don't remember what it is. So I try like 7 different codes, and they're like, well, you need to stop doing that because you need to
Alert, so you get arrested and then you're out.
Yeah, I don't buy anything on my
So-
bank
Who
card. I
uses
buy it
debit
on
cards
credit
these
card
days?
so that I can get points.
Exactly. That's why we
I
have
feel
not
like I'm
traveled.
off the here. Sorry,
Ooh,
Chris,
she's
I'm
getting
You're
closer.
getting a little closer.
Exposed.
What's
There we go.
happening?
I feel well because
He
the
really does
cameras are
have
off
Golden
a little
Knights
bit.
underwear
What's
on.
going
I promise you, I
Beta?
can see them from here.
So the other
You get
thing,
drunk today too?
the other thing they said you should do is if you ever get carjacked and someone's in your car, that you should speed your car into something. I mean, you've got a seatbelt on, hopefully, and that it's more likely that the person holding the gun will lose the gun or hurt themselves in the crash. And that's instead of driving off or going to wherever they want to go, you're better off to wreck your car right
Good to
then.
know.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll flee the scene. It was on like these top 10 things to protect yourself in hijacking situations.
Crazy. So crazy. But I think it's more, I mean, like one of the reasons I brought this up.
I'm
is
not condoning
because-
wrecking your car or any of that. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Look, insurance companies, we heard it here from Chris Bishop that it was okay on Real Estate Exposed to do this. It wasn't.
I still think it's important, though, to be able to protect yourself, right? Things
Yeah.
like this, you don't realize, especially in today's day and age, whether you're a realtor or not,
Yeah.
it's just being, really to know what to do. We actually did a
Cognizant,
training here specifically for
Safety.
realtors, but it was for safety protection.
Oh
and
yeah,
it-
that guy came in and like taught us how to karate chop and
yeah,
stuff.
like you
and
go
it was
like
cool.
this and you go like that and you go
Yeah. I mean, when you
Can you
walk
be
to
a
your
demonst-
car, you're supposed to do it with your key. I mean, we don't have that kind of key, but you do it with your key in between your fingers.
Yeah.
So if anybody comes to you, just poke them with it. Do you know that? But I have the coolest thing
What?
in my purse. I have like an actual.
Your
electric
sanitizing
shock.
tool is kind of cool.
No, but I have an electric. I'll
You
show
have
it
a
to you.
taser?
I do.
Right?
I have a flashlight
we-
that's a taser. So
wanna
Do
see
you?
it? Do you want to see it?
No.
It looks like
Should I
a
go get
lipstick
it?
case.
No, it's
Should I go get
okay.
it? You want to see it? But I think it's important to remember that like real estate agents, and so yes, this might not have been real estate related. It was just a gentleman who was in real estate. But for real estate agents, it's important to understand that you need to go. I mean, if you can meet your client for the first time in the office, get cameras on them, right?
Yep.
So you know who you're walking away with and who you're walking into empty houses with. Get their driver's license. Don't ever just randomly meet someone. Call your broker. Tell somebody that you're at the property so that they keep checking up on you. And a lot of our apps, like the Central Lock app or whatnot, has a indicator. So if you go meet somebody at a property, it'll keep texting you every couple of minutes to check if you're okay. It's annoying as shit.
That's pretty
But
cool.
if you don't respond to it, it sends a message to your emergency contacts that you've inputted into that system.
can I share a story?
Please do, and I'll go get my taser.
Okay.
I'm listening.
that's the best thing I've heard all day. So while you're still here with me, because
Yes.
now it's exposed on this side, I had this agent that I worked with. She was in the Seattle market, and she had this policy that she would make the buyer come into her office and give his photo ID or her photo ID, and they'd keep it. And that way, when they were out showing, they knew who the person was with and the whole piece. She goes out with this guy. They're looking at condos, and she turns, and he hits her on the back of the head and begins to like beat her up and throws her into a closet because he hears someone coming. And the whole reason that they caught this guy was because they had his ID at her office. It turns out he was a serial killer.
Oh my!
And the only reason they caught the gentleman, I guess, the crazy person, the guy, is because she had a photo ID of him, and it was crazy.
It's actually sad to think that you wouldn't take those type of precautions. I mean, I know today with Zoom and all that other stuff, and then you have people like for me. Sometimes I'm like, you want to meet me in person? I got to do my makeup. Vandana, hurry up! I'm trying to carry this.
She's like Mary Poppins pulling stuff out of that bag over there.
No way.
Uh-oh.
Seriously, you're such a tease, man.
I know. I'm sorry, but
Seriously.
I'll bring it next week. I promise. I'll bring it next week so that we can talk about it again. Okay, Brandon. I'll bring the taser when you're back.
So you carry a taser with you at all times usually?
Well, apparently not now.
Only on Fridays.
It was in my bag. So one of my friends gave it to
Tuesdays
me
for
as
sales
a
meetings.
Christmas gift 2 years ago.
Well, that's a
he
gift
was
that
like,
keeps on giving.
Right. He was like, I brought you a gift, and I was like, cool. So I opened it up, and sure as shit, there it was.
Have you ever been tased?
It was a taser. No, but I tased him just to see if it worked, and it does.
I feel like
You
that's a trick
tased your friend that
question.
gave you the taser? The same
Did he
time he gave it
live?
to
I'm
you?
pretty sure he gave it to me so I could tase him because he's weird like that.
Awkward.
Yeah.
What kind of friends do you hang out with?
The ones who want to make sure that I'm
Kinky.
protected.
Safe and
Protected.
Exposed.
Yeah.
safe and kinky. Well, those are good friends to have.
Good friends to have. Yep. All right. So
Wait a second. I was
Oh,
finishing my.
I'm sorry, there was
so
a story.
Is
Tell
there
me the
not
rest.
really like a best practice today that you
Yeah.
have?
You should always, like, what do you buy anymore where they don't ask for your driver's license, right? Or some contact info.
Yeah, because you go buy a car, they always ask you
Yeah,
for.
you go and buy anything. I mean, you can't buy anything in a store anymore without signing up for a loyalty reward
That's true, yeah.
card and asking all your info. So I think it's a great idea to get someone's photo ID, at least have them send you a picture of it. Like if
Yeah.
you've never met this person, they're out of state, hey, would you mind texting me a copy of your photo ID? I don't ever ask for anyone's social or personal stuff, but I mean, it just makes sense to
What
have
about
it.
sign? Do you ever ask them for their zodiac sign?
No, I'm not really a zodiac person.
Random. It's Vandana. I'm like telling her about my client that I have.
It's not
She's
like they're
Is
voting."
he single? I'm like, we're not going to. Yeah.
seriously, I don't understand what kind of friends you are. What are you laughing about? What just happened?
It was the
What did I
joke.
miss? Oh, I missed that one.
I'll
Keeps
ask
on
for their
giving.
photo
We were
ID to buy a
talking about
house,
me.
but it's not like they're voting.
Oh. That is funny. All right. Are you done now, Shelly?
Yes.
I'm done. Go ahead.
I can wait.
Oh, he's telling us. Chris.
but that was so long ago.
He's
That
not
was a
talking
while
about me.
ago.
He's talking about you, Chris.
Yeah.
You gotta
No,
just
that
put
was
your headphones on.
that's when he
Oh,
said
got it.
if I get any closer, I'll be eating it.
Sorry. I'm
She's
just paying
closest to the
attention.
screen and having a problem.
I know, because I pay attention to you guys. My audience is. Yes.
Whoa. Hey
That's gonna
guys,
leave
if you're
Next
listening
topic.
to
Tom
us, go
Blanchard.
ahead and let us know. All right, so next topic. Zillow facing trouble in more ways than one. There's actually been a lawsuit filed. U.S. federal court in Seattle has filed a case. By the way, it's by REX, not to be confused with Real Estate Exposed, but Real Estate
Oh.
Exchange.
Got it. I was wondering how we got
Yeah,
that much
we didn't
publicity.
do that.
Got it.
We
Okay.
didn't do that. So, Real Estate Exchange alleges that Zillow and its affiliates Trulia are illegally favoring listings by brokers who belong to the National Association of Realtors, the most prominent U.S. real estate trade organization.
What, 90% of, well, okay, that's a lie. 50% of all licensees are realtors?
Only 50?
Only 50?
There are some
I
states
feel like there's more.
No, in New York, like they have 80,000 licensees and only like 30,000 of them are realtors.
Shut up.
In Nevada, we have 29,000 licensees and only 18,000 are realtors.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, so they're saying that home listings by non-NAR agents are now relegated to a hidden tab on the website.
Have you ever seen a hidden tab?
Wait, I was gonna say,
It's
what
hidden.
the hell's a hidden tab?
But how do you see?
Is that the incognito that
Well,
you
no,
see?
she means hidden for people that aren't realtors.
That's weird. How can you know? How do they know?
Is it a class action suit? Like, will I get anything?
I don't, are you part of a lawsuit? Did you?
No,
sign
I
up?
just, other than me getting something, I don't know how it really will affect me or matter.
Well,
What he's saying is, next story, please.
No, we keep seeing these stories about Zillow did this and Zillow, all these different companies are breaking our business down, but none of it has really changed my day-to-day life at all in the last, 20 years? And so, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of clickbait, and I hear a lot of people talk, oh my God, our life's going to end and real estate agents are just going to go away. But what has really changed? I mean, really, Out of all the things that we've heard in the last couple of
They
years, what's
stole
really
my
changed?
business. No, nothing.
I would agree on that because I remember how much of
Oh
a
my
temper
God, you freaked
tantrum I
out.
threw when
Yeah.
Zillow decided to
So,
open their own mortgage company.
2 years ago, was it? 2
I
years
don't
ago,
know.
we were
was getting out
buying
of the business then.
some leads, right? And so she calls me one day. She's like, "That's it. I'm done. No more." And I go, "What happened?" She goes, "We're not doing any more Zillow." I'm like, "Why aren't we doing any more Zillow?" And she said, "Because they just started a mortgage company." I was like, "Welcome to the world of real estate."
Yeah.
But
They've been doing this to us for years, but here we are. Like,
and nothing's
I'm
happening.
not supporting or admonishing any business model of
Yeah.
any fellow practitioners. So
there's
I just
our
want to
disclaimer.
clarify that.
Neither
But,
am I. Ditto.
Fine print.
I was at Inman a couple of years ago, and a Zillow executive got up and said the smartest thing I've ever heard come from anybody at one of those events, and said that every lead that Zillow sells was a failure of some real estate agent to contact their database.
Correct.
And I was like, oh, mic drop. I mean, that's the
That's
truth.
true.
Yeah.
And if you contacted your base of people, would it ever matter what they did or what their model was?
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that agents, it's that personal touch, right? We talk about it all the time, and it's been important for years. And how, what are you writing?
I had a thought. I just want to make sure I get into that
Go
thought
ahead.
before.
Wait,
No,
I'll
no,
pop
no,
the
no,
bubble
no.
above your head.
It'll be after. Go ahead.
So just now I forgot. What were you going to say, Shelly?
No, I forgot. That's why I had to bring the freaking pen out.
Exposed.
Seriously.
This is what we do up in here.
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
This is what we do. So yeah, you're right. I don't think it's a big deal. I know that people are getting caught up about it, about Zillow. Well, when they bought Showing Time, and like, oh my God, they're going to do this. And I will say that there have been rumors of agents getting calls from Zillow agents
Yes.
saying, "Hey, I've got,
Yeah.
would you like to see this property?" And it was.
So it's funny you bring
through
that
their
up
Showing Time
because
situation.
that happened where an agent.
I know, we talked about
yeah.
it.
I
just
had
said it.
this week a client call me up and say, hey, the same agent's been calling me every few weeks asking me to list my property with them the entire time while the property's been listed with me.
Right. Now
Right.
that's a violation.
It's a clear violation.
Correct. Of
It
the
is.
code of ethics,
However,
yes.
these agents are still out there doing it, knowing that it is. And the only reason I think that they didn't really care was because it's now been 3 months, and this is the first time my client said anything about it. Right? So if the tree falls in a forest and no one's around, did it really happen? And I think a lot of people are just doing it because they're stressed inventory and they think it's just okay and it's just a marketing tool.
Yeah.
And they don't really know it's a violation because a lot of these things never get back to us to be reported. And so,
Right,
which is
right.
kind of
That makes
scary.
sense.
So I don't think it's like one company that's out there doing it. I think there's a barrage of people out there doing it illegally. And until they get caught, no one says anything.
Right.
Well, so what do you do when you have a realtor, like all of your realtors farm one specific community? You may have a listing in that community.
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
considered a
we have
ethics
we have
violation?
disclosures.
There's actually disclosures on the bottom of the postcards. There's disclosures on all of our documentation, all of our flyers, everything like that says that if your home is currently listed, please disregard.
This is not a solicitation.
This is not a solicitation for business
But,
because
if-
it's a violation if we don't.
If I'm calling a cold call list and it doesn't have addresses listed, just names and numbers, and I don't know that person's listed, then that's the most common occurrence, I think, of what's kind of the gray area. But once that person says my home's listed on the market, I as an agent have to immediately stop,
Got it.
trying to solicit them. It's an opposite story if I'm farming my neighborhood and someone calls my number and says, hey, are you the expert in the area? And then they start talking to me.
Right.
That's a different story.
Got it.
So they could be listed with another agent and contact you,
Yeah.
and that's not a problem. But it's when you initiate as a licensee or as a realtor,
Yeah.
you initiate the conversation. They already have a listing.
Got it.
Yeah, there's a couple of rules like that we're not allowed to.
Let's go back to your story because one of the things
Let's go back to our
You'll
story.
remember this.
Just so you know, it's our show.
Yeah. Years ago, Realtor.com used to provide leads, and Las Vegas had a special
Yep.
agreement that we had as an entire association where we
remember
paid a major amount of money. I don't remember how many millions
A
of
lot.
dollars it was.
Yeah.
We actually raised MLS dues at that time, first time in 20 years. It was like $100, I think, per member, so that we would have this contract. And what would happen is your listing would be promoted, and then when they'd click on the listing, that lead would go directly to the listing agent. And that was like cutting edge. Like everyone was upset. It was before Zillow got to be really big, and then they just came into the marketplace and squashed it, right? And then so Realtor.com had to change the way it did business, and it kind of what did it shrink down from number 1 to like number 5, and then NAR sold off their interest in it, which I think was still one of the worst things.
That NAR could have done.
I think it was the worst thing they could have done was to give up their ownership interest, but I think it was the worst thing they could do to own a tech company of any kind, because realtors make bad tech company owners. They just are not
savvy.
Yeah, they're
Hey,
not.
don't say that.
intuitive
We've got an
enough
app
from
coming out soon.
it. Well, yeah,
See
but
how I plug that in?
we are not the ones sitting
So you
down
didn't
doing the
create it,
tech.
though.
We
Yeah.
found
Yeah,
someone that is,
that's true.
but
Yeah,
but
that's
that
true.
was the issue. They just weren't competitive enough.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, it leads back to the point of it worked then, and no one had a problem with technology providing leads, but it does now.
I don't know what's happening right now. Why are you laughing?
I was just looking at the top hat on top of this.
Did something just happen? Did you
Nope.
change?
No, I'm on the same story.
You're on the same story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Zillow's in trouble. That was our first topic, right?
No, that was
Yeah.
our
Their
second
stock
fourth
price has
topic.
never been
Fourth
higher.
topic.
They're
Yeah,
in
it's
real
fourth
trouble.
topic. Sorry.
Their stock prices have been crazy. I almost
Nuts.
I almost invested in them, but I should have done it last year. The time to do it was last year.
Yeah.
In 20, I think the time to invest in
I-
anything was last year.
I'm still
Last year?
surprised that Zillow didn't buy
Really?
Realogy
Yeah. Why?
because
Were
Realogy
they up
stock
for
was
sale?
no, but Realogy stock was less than $1 at one point. In the last, what was it, 14 months ago, it went down so low.
Really?
And Zillow could have bought them cash and not even really noted it on the balance sheets. I mean, it would have been nothing to
You
them.
should have been their advisor.
So if they were going to take over the industry, like everyone's saying, why didn't they do that? They would have got 600,000 agents in one business.
Because they were prepping for showing time.
Oh, because that really affected
Yeah,
everybody.
I'm like,
They spent a lot of money on showing time.
So what is with that trend? I see all these agents now noting in the, like, you've never seen this before, but in the agent remarks it says, showing
Don't use-
instructions, don't use showing time.
Yeah.
I
'cause
mean,
everybody's like,
Pissed off about it.
is that really it?
Yeah. Well, so what I think the problem is that there's a,
exposed.
Take a-
Exactly. It's a revolution.
it's a go ahead and schedule an appointment, but that's how the leads are coming in, or that's how they're getting
To
leads, or
Zillow?
how they're going to get the phone numbers. They believe that it's going to cost because they don't want to feed the beast, right? Everybody thinks that Zillow is our enemy, and so they don't want to feed the beast. And I think that's what it is.
So I'm curious how
So if we're
many-
using showing time, and all the associations are using
Yeah.
showing time, then there's going to be all this money that's going to be going back to Zillow
People forget
because of it.
It had the worst adoption of any service we've ever added at the board level. I mean,
Well, and the funny thing is, I just started using it, and I love it.
Showing
I like
time?
it too.
Yes,
I like it too.
I think it makes it so much easier.
The northern part of the state only uses showing time for all their showings.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no
See,
other option?
No, they just require it. The entire board uses showing time for all of their showing setups.
So
Yeah,
who's
we-
actually
Salt Lake too.
putting in more, like buying into Zillow more? Wouldn't that be if you're a realtor actually out there trying to compete? Would you buy into Zillow more as far as their
The leads, you mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of agents that have been very smart with it that created a business model where they receive an income that they use to then buy leads, and they have a very good machine working, right? And Tom Ferry always says that marketing is math. And so if the numbers pencil and I'm making a profit, why wouldn't I do it? But the problem is most people have poor systems. They can't convert leads, and they're bad client managers. That's why Zillow's in business.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it didn't really do them any good anyway. But if you had a really great, you have a really great system, the way you set up your team and follow up on leads, it would make sense.
Oh.
Hey, listen,
What is
exposed.
happening right now?
It would make sense why you would buy leads
Chris,
because
she's
you're
on the show
funneling
no
them
matter
in the
what,
system.
okay?
Yep, not doing that anymore. Not feeding the beast.
Not feeding the beast.
But it does, what's really interesting, it says in this article that in 2020, the two largest iBuyers, Open Door and Zillow, lost a total of $607 million buying
Pennies.
and selling houses. That's pennies to them,
Pennies.
but it's kind of a big deal, right? That's a loss of about $40,000 on each home bought and resold, about $1.6 million every single day, or about $1,100 per minute in 2020. Right?
minute?
Per minute is what it says. And despite their staggering financial losses, the evidence suggests that Zillow and Open Door remain staunchly pro-consumer. Both businesses are determined to pass a financial benefit on to consumers alongside a streamlined experience. And I think that's the key right there, right? The streamlined experience.
They have a better experience in a lot of cases.
They have a better. But when I talk to clients and I'm like, here's my website, here's my app where you can actually look at property. It's linked directly to the MLS. Do you know what I get back from them? Zillow listings. The actual links from Zillow
'Cause it's
for
easy.
that listing.
Yeah.
Because they have a better consumer portal to search for property. That's just, the reality of it. It's unfortunate but I still, but
me
now
ask you
I
a
have to
question.
do all the research. When it comes
find
back
it.
to me, now I have to figure out, is that property still available? Did it expire? Did it, right?
But when you personally are looking for property somewhere else, like not in Las Vegas, like out of state, what's the first place you go?
Airbnb.
Is it really?
To buy?
Okay, let's say to purchase a property. Sorry,
I
gotta be more
checked the
specific.
Bishop Roberts website. I don't
So I don't
Come
know.
on,
I
you
mean, I
can
don't
say it.
really.
We all know.
I don't really.
You go to
search-
Zillow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Realtor.com.
I do. So I'm doing
MLS.
refinances. All my clients, I'm like, let me just check your value. Du-du-du.
You get a Zestimate, you shut
I
your
mean,
mouth
and then I
right
give like
now.
10% on top of
Get
that.
out of
Yeah,
here.
they
and
never
then
will.
You know
I go
what?
to the realtors.
Forget lenders. We're just
I'm
going to do
leaving
honorable
now.
carries for the rest of our lives.
Hey, they're out there. They're out there.
Oh no.
No more lenders. We don't need them. We're just going to honorable carry for the rest of our lives.
Because they're
right?
faster,
Just-
right?
yeah.
The Zillow, you just pop on there and
That's
Yeah,
the
but
pro-
it's
and
not
that's the
accurate
problem.
at any level. I
That-
mean, it
Right.
even tells you, that's the funny part. It says this is not
True.
accurate.
Right.
The star
And
rating's
here's the
half of it.
percentage of
Yeah.
how inaccurate we are
Yeah.
based on where you live.
And,
right?
and that I believe a consumer also knows. They're like, well, just based on Zillow, which we all know is inaccurate, but we still go to this website. We are going to see
Right.
that our value
It doesn't
is
factor it like in RPR when you go into value, you can factor in market conditions like seller's market, buyer's market, things
Yeah.
like that, and augment the price. Zillow just takes it as a gross kind of factor. I saw a thing the other day. It says, if you really want to know how the market's like, remember when everyone was hoarding toilet paper? It's just like that.
Right.
Right?
Yep,
But you
exactly.
can't get that option on their AVN.
No,
like
you
toilet
can't.
paper hoarding is not.
We Yeah, but here's the thing: when you're a seller, the Zestimate works sometimes in
It
your
does.
favor,
It does.
right? Because it tends to be a lot higher than what the market says. So, like,
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
They've
It just
actually
depends,
overpaid
but-
for properties and taken losses. I mean, we've seen
Yeah.
them a number of times where they paid more than the
Hello,
property was worth.
$1,100 a minute.
Well, yeah, but it didn't happen that way. It wasn't on every home. It was on one home that like the AVM was completely off and they paid 80 grand more than they should have.
Yeah.
And the homeowner's like, sure,
Yep.
I'll take
it.
one of them.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry about showing my house and doing all
Yeah.
that nonsense and blah blah blah. So last week we had Valerie on the show and we talked about our market and what's been going on with it. So we'd love to hear your input on that. And by we,
You're
I mean
actually
I, because
asking for my opinion?
Sure. I mean, give us your opinion on what you think's going on with this market and now what.
Yeah,
Right, because I will tell you, there's a ton of buyers
Yep, ton
that
of
are
buyers.
that are in the marketplace that are looking. We don't have as many listings. I mean, 2.1 weeks of inventory as of last week. I don't know what it.
2.1 weeks?
Did you not read my Instagram at Realtor Vandana?
I know. I'm trying to cut out social media.
What?
Sorry.
Why?
I don't know. I'm addicted.
she unfollowed.
Don't say anything.
What?
Check your
Exposed.
followers. She's not there.
Ew.
No.
All right. So seriously, 2.1 weeks of inventory.
So
As
the
of
other
last
thing, this is not the first time this has happened, right?
No.
In 08, it
Been there,
happened.
done that.
I remember getting to a point where I had 7 or 8 qualified active buyers that were getting beat out on every offer they submitted. We just could not get a property. Inventory was down until like a month and a half. And it was a tough market, but 8 months later, the market shifted again and inventory started to come up and things happen. I just think this is like, I think of that movie Perfect Storm, and we're the ship riding up that wave.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to make it.
We're-
Like, I
Meaning-
seriously,
We're totally gonna
like,
make
we
it.
could hit a negative inventory float. And I think it's going to happen. I think we'll be a zero inventory market. And when that happens in this marketplace,
No.
I'm not kidding. People are going to go crazy. And I was talking to my team today in our meeting, and I said it could get to the point, and this happened in 05, where people buy out your reservation on a new home. You have a reservation to close on your new
I'm gonna
home.
run
and
out right now and put myself on a list.
you think about it, though.
20
And
times.
someone will pay you for your
I'll give you
spot on
50
that list.
grand for your spot for the house that you've already set up. I'll buy this house from you. I got to have a home for my family. I have the cash. Because that's the one thing. When it happened before, prices were dipping.
But we weren't at zero inventory
was gonna say,
before.
I don't
No,
we
we never
were
got that low.
never at zero inventory.
We've never
we're
been this low.
Pretty damn close now, but still.
But no one's had this much money either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
All of
true.
these people have equity in their
That's
homes.
true.
They have cash there. And so we've never seen a place where they're going to fight like this
Yeah.
over property.
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
I'm excited because my favorite saying in real estate is, "Dear Lord, please give me one more great real estate market, and I promise not to piss it all away."
Yeah.
So you
right?
feel like this
and
is
it's
that day.
here.
I pissed away the last one
I
for
did.
sure.
I shooted it
100%.
a couple of times. But
I felt
Yeah.
like that was last year though, but you're thinking we're going to be even better this year?
I think
It'll be different?
most of the people I know are holding properties. I mean,
Yeah.
are you selling anything right now? Like
She-
your personal
Okay, hold
property?
on. Let me
on.
tell you something
I
about
feel
Shelly.
like that's a jab.
Shelly lives in the same house for the
I
last
know.
15 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it.
She's lived in the same
Just
house
let's
for the last
remember
15
my husband
So
likes
she
to
is
listen to
holding
this random
everything.
conversation.
What do you like about your house that
She
keeps
is
you in it?
holding
I
everything.
have a family.
So if we got rid of them, you'd sell the house?
Perhaps.
She needs a house with a 15-car garage or something.
I hope he heard that one.
He's at
No,
the gym.
I mean, I mean,
use that
it's
excuse too.
the biggest thing for me is where we're going to go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
We'll
I
find
could-
you a place. Don't worry about
Will
it.
you?
Yeah, we'll build
I've
one.
You shut your mouth right now.
See, I only had to ask a few questions. I've already got the family out, and she's ready to go. You've been on the show for years. What's going on here? Exposed.
I found her a place and everything.
Yeah.
That fit her and her family. You don't have to get rid of your family. I can help you.
Scott said he's been in his house 21 years. My grandparents
Oh,
were in their
Scott.
house 48 years. They
Oh,
were the
Scott.
worst real estate clients any person would have ever had.
Yeah.
But they were the best referral clients I've ever had.
So
Yeah.
not the worst.
Well, no, they were horrible at buying and selling property because all they did was add on to their house, and that was a generational thing for my grandfather. You bought a house, and he was a second generation in the United States from Italy. His family was, and when you bought a house, that was monumentous, right?
Yeah.
You never sold the home; you just added on to it.
Right.
But he was the best referral person in the world.
Nice.
Yeah, he would always refer me to people. They couldn't buy anything, but he would always refer me.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a
you've
referral,
got
yeah.
people over here that are trying to get in touch with your family now to get referrals.
Good luck.
Good.
Good luck. What were we talking about?
Negative. You're talking about
negative
negative
inventory.
inventory.
Yeah.
Zero
which
inventory.
is
so-
crazy.
I think it'll be crazy, but the whole piece of it is every year. Last
You
year
say
was
that a lot.
crazy. The year before that was crazy. This year will be nuts. Next year will be nuts. Every year, 40,000 homes sell, right? So it doesn't matter.
And
if
they
the
did
market's up.
last year, even with low
Doesn't matter
inventory.
if it's down. Someone's going to sell 40,000 homes, and my only goal is I want to get a piece of the
those
40,000 homes.
Yeah.
So how do you
Ditto.
do that when you got all these buyers? Work.
You actually have to show up. You've got to do stuff. You've
I
got
mean,
to
you got
stay
10
in touch
buyers
with
in your pocket. What are you going to do with them if nobody's
Sell
selling
them
their home?
something. I think the
I
whole
don't think
point
they
is-
want to live in their
you
car.
Want to
gotta
talk
get
about tiny
creative.
homes?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We were actually on a call yesterday, and somebody was building a whole tiny homes community
Here in Vegas?
North Las Vegas.
And they have one
Really?
building in Havasu right now.
What
Mary
about
Roberts
Coal Creek? How's
is
that
doing
lot
that.
of yours?
There just no momentum out there on anything that big. I mean, a lot of the small pieces are selling, so the cabins have sold, but the vacant land is tough. I've got a number of vacant land
Build some
building
tiny homes.
parcels.
That's what I'm saying.
On
so,
them.
So
Or
I've been
don't.
trying to
That
find
way you can just
financing
pick them
for
up and
that.
move them someplace else if you don't like where they're
Yeah.
at. Put them in your pocket.
Yeah,
I love the idea.
Tiny home?
of tiny
Yes.
homes.
So you'll
she
leave,
could live in one.
You'll leave
I-
your house for a tiny home?
Totally. $50,000?
See, I've already got
I
it.
just,
She
there's
has a
actually one parked
daughter.
outside of the office right now.
There's
Tiny
a
home?
tiny home parked out there. That's called
We
an
call it a
RV.
she shed. An RV. Basically, 500
It's an
square
RV.
feet.
Yeah. It's an RV with
Totally.
plumbing. Right?
Yeah, an RV has plumbing, I think.
Does it?
I don't sell RVs.
You
Not
have
my
to. I
style.
mean, you have to plug it in, don't you? I mean, I don't own an RV. Do you own an RV?
Nope.
No, I don't own an RV.
But I'm pretty
Anybody
sure
own
the
an RV?
tiny
No.
home has to be plugged in also.
I sold
No,
that
but
meth
they
lab.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, going back to Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
they actually
thank
have
you.
plumbing in the ground, whereas like with RVs, they're not in one
Yeah, they have
stable
hookups.
place. They're they have hookups. You got to
Yeah,
hook
yeah.
it up.
Hook it up.
And do you know RV
Now, unless you're a
rents?
manufactured home, right? That's in one place.
Those rents at those
They
RV
will.
places are like $1,000 to $1,500.
That's what you should do with your vacant land in Utah.
I've
You should
already-
make it an
I've-
RV park.
Hey, I've already got a plan, but not in Cold Creek, but in a different part of the valley.
Yeah.
Share. It's exposed. You can go and
No, I
expose
can't. I
it.
can't.
Ah,
Coming soon.
on the weekend.
We don't do that shit here.
I'll share it on the real show.
We just, ew.
Just kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, you heard it here. What else were we going to talk about
So
today?
you're saying negative inventory, he needs to be creative.
That was like 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes? All right, I'm not going to pay attention to you.
You're not going to talk to us anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to pay attention. So you guys,
That topic
can you
isn't
put some
even trending
comments?
anymore.
Anyway.
Go ahead and put some comments in under below so that Shelly can review them 10 minutes
Yeah.
later when our show is over.
Can we talk
Oh,
about
fine.
your new website that you're going to do? Because I want to talk about mine.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I've decided I've got a company that I created eons ago that I don't know what to do with, and it's just been sitting there. So I'm going to do a DBA, and I'm actually going to do a coaching and consulting. Right. I'm going to do, but it's going to be called theballa.com, which is obviously
I get it.
right.
I get it, yeah.
Right. The Balla.
Yeah.
But it would be Balla.
Hurry
Coaching
up and buy that
Consulting.
one.
I already did it.
.com too,
I bought it
and
years
US.
ago. Actually, believe it or not, Jeff Fargo told me years ago. He's like, I don't care what you do with it. Just hold on to it. Just keep that website, and then you'll do
The
something
Balla?
with theballa.com. He's like, just buy it. I'm like, all right. So I just went on and I bought it, and I've had it.
Went up like Bitcoin.
Yes, it went up It went up like no, it didn't go up,
$13?
but I've had it for maybe 7 years now.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm just going to have theballa.com, and it's going to be Balla Coaching and Consulting.
Great.
Yeah.
So I predominantly have worked in the Northwest, right?
Shelly.
And I live out in the North. And so I was going to buy a website. And since I had an office out there, I was going to buy the website, The Warden of the North. Game of Thrones
Yeah.
reference.
Got
Get
it. Got it.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And so I went on, and it was available, right? The Warden of the North.
She
So
hasn't watched Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. I don't
how
watch
have
TV
you
at
lived
all.
life without
She
watching?
Barely.
also did not.
How
she
could she even
also
be on a
haven't
show?
watched Tiger
Thank
King
you.
or whatever the hell that
I
was.
didn't. I never finished Tiger
Ay,
King.
ay, ay.
I lost interest.
All right. So, anyways,
immediately.
thewardenofthenorth.com.
Yeah, because
but it's
you know,
gone.
I don't know if it's gone technically. I never
mean,
followed
it is
through.
I'm
right
buying it
now.
now.
It is now. But what a cool idea, right? And I figured I'd add it onto everything. And, you know, then when they'd ask me real estate questions and now to the warden. But then I started thinking warden kind of brings up prison.
Correct.
It does.
Yeah, I don't want to be known as the prisoner of the North.
Well, no,
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 you are
you
the
wouldn't be
ones
the
watching
prisoner.
over the
You would be
prisoners.
the warden of
Correct.
the prisoners.
Same problem, different one.
The kind of
Different
TV
reference.
that I watch, I've seen what the warden
Yeah, you've
does.
seen
to
that.
you.
Yeah. That show you'll watch.
Exactly.
You never watch Game of Thrones?
I,
Oh, come on.
No, seriously, I don't. I'm not really good in TV. I can't keep my attention. Like this, barely. I'm keeping my attention span.
Ew.
I noticed that on the episode.
Shut up.
I
Seriously?
didn't
That's not even very nice. Brandon, when
know.
you come back, Shelly's no longer part of the
Yes.
show. I just wanted to let you
AKA
know.
Mini Hammer. What?
I don't know why
Love
you
it.
think that, Kim. Take that shit back. She's probably way nicer than I am.
Well, I already bought her
She
lunch,
is.
so
Oh, is that why?
maybe.
God. What lunch did you get her?
Anyways, back to you, Chris.
It's the one who does the cavity search. Nope, that's not me.
Oh my god.
That's not me.
Yeah. So yeah, Shelly, talk about rates. It's that
So
time.
rates are good.
Same. Are you saying
I
they're
know
same?
nobody. You can't get a buyer into a home these days. But I will tell you, I was up late last night,
Not
which is
watching
why I'm a
TV.
little groggy this morning. Not watching TV, but helping a buyer negotiate literally between the two.
Oh yeah,
agents.
I remember that conversation.
Yeah.
We had that, the three of us, while we were talking about what we were going
Which
to
I
talk
didn't
about
realize
here.
You guys were up that late either.
Sometimes.
I wasn't.
I'm
I
watching
s-
TV.
I stopped paying attention to you guys. I have a
I was
setting.
watching Game of Thrones.
I have a setting on my phone that turns off at 10 o'clock.
Normally I do too, but I do feel like it's such
Wait,
a
what?
crazy market.
But
right
I
now.
also paid attention.
What turns off?
My phone turns off at 10 o'clock, but then I turn it back on to like, it has.
You have the green.
Is that
one
like a
pops-
self-control help? Or what?
Yes.
Because you
Yes.
just can't help yourself. You got to grab that
So
phone.
here's the funny story.
That's
I
true,
sit
actually.
and I watch TV, right? And I'm just watching TV, whatever, but I will grab for my phone randomly and I can't help
Just like to
myself.
hold it?
Apparently, I got to hold something in my hand. So I grab my phone.
I can see that
Exposed.
one floating by, but I'm going to let it go.
So I always have
I
my
have that
phone in my
same
hand.
problem.
So I turn it off. I put an alarm on my phone. They have it now. It's meant to actually remind you to go to sleep. It's the go to sleep alarm on your iPhone. You wouldn't know, Shelly.
Mine's called
But-
bedtime, but okay.
Yeah,
Same thing.
same thing.
So you have
Same
an
thing.
app that tells you to go to sleep?
No,
It
it's
just
it's
turns
actually
my whole
built
computer
in.
dark.
It turns everything off.
Yeah.
It's like, remember on the TVs when you had televisions that turned off at a certain time, like you could actually time it to turn off?
Sure.
Huh?
You don't
'cause you
pay
didn't
the
pay the bill.
Well, because what people would do would like watch TV and just fall asleep, and the TV would be
Yeah.
on all night.
My
like
my
a
kid
sleep
would always
timer.
do that.
And so
She-
it would
she
be a
was
sleep alarm for the TV. It's the same thing, but for your phone. And so it's on your settings, and you can actually you can put it in. And so mine at 9 o'clock gives me a warning, and at 10 o'clock it turns off.
It's amazing to me that somebody somewhere is living an exotic life off of an app that they created to
Right.
shut off your
Right?
TV and
Yeah.
your lifestyle. Yeah. He's in Costa Rica right now.
exactly.
I get it.
Hey, I get it though. I mean, you're a busy person, you got a lot going on, and you need someone to say stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I'm going to create a coaching called Stop It.
Yeah.
And so I'll
A
just call her
website?
up and say, stop it.
.com. Yeah, exactly.
.com.
Yeah, so I have to
Formerly
I have
Vandana
buy
Bhalla.
that domain now.
sometimes also put my phone away because I have a really hard time. But I also
But you
remember
were on
that-
last
but
night at 10 o'clock, 10:30. By
I
the way.
was because, like I said, I turned
Because
it
anytime
back
Chris's
on.
texts come over, you're like, "Bing! I got to pay attention."
Oh, I got to get back on there.
So it doesn't. I just right before I go to bed, I'll hit the dismiss to make sure I didn't miss any important calls from family, friends, or Chris. And then I'll
is
just
it wrong
in
that I'm
case.
going to schedule an app to tell me to text her tonight at 10 o'clock?
Do you guys? I have a scheduling text.
God.
ad.
You do? There's one out there.
There is, because sometimes I'll be late at night, 10:30, trying to make sure I get all my texts out, and I schedule them out. So
You
sometimes
watch more Game of Thrones.
You
wouldn't have
can
to worry about
seriously
that.
Really?
schedule out text messages to go out.
Yes.
Wait a second. Is it
Is
an
it only
is Android thing?
I will never go back. Never go to Apple then because of that.
Seriously,
It's
that's so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
It's actually Verizon, I think.
like you schedule them to go out and like
The
you're
next
waiting
morning.
for someone to get them and like read them and respond.
So usually I'll time it because I think it's kind of inappropriate to text somebody at 10:30 at night to say everything's good to go. So I'll set.
let them stay up all night worrying that it may
So
not come
instead-
together.
Different. It would definitely be different. But I'll schedule them first thing at like 8 o'clock in the morning so that they
That's
go.
very considerate.
So I also don't forget, right? Because a lot of times you think about these
Yeah.
things and you're like, probably not a good idea to. And you email, but for me it's a different way because a lot of
I will.
people read their text rather than
Sure.
their email. So
Yeah, I email late at night instead of texting people,
So that app is on at 11 o'clock. The other one's off.
Yeah.
or I call them,
Emails
them
on a
depending on what time. Yeah, so
I don't
sometimes
call
I'll
that
call,
late
but
unless
not
they
late at
call.
night. I don't call late at night. I never called you late at night. You shut up, Beta. I called you after 5. That's
That
the
is late
difference.
after the hours. After hours, he's an employee.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's
Well,
his
it happened that it like something
You don't have to
happened with the
explain
video.
yourself why you called him at 11.
I think
It's
this
fine.
topic is
It was
gone
at
on
8
way too
o'clock.
long.
I know. All right. So Shelly, rates are fine. Everything's okay.
Today's a little
nobody's
dramatic on
dying.
interest rates, but nobody's dying.
Kind of up and
yet.
down?
Up and down, down and up. It is still volatile. I don't know what happened. The stimulus stuff is coming out, I guess, on Monday, and so everybody's freaking out. And so
So are the
Rates are
rates going to
up.
go up again? You think?
I think we're going to go up for a little bit until we realize the inflation piece of it, and then we'll start to come back. I don't think we're going back under the 3s, but I think we'll definitely be.
Well, it doesn't matter because there's going to be no home soon.
True.
I know, according to Chris, buy your house now.
Hey, the other thing that's happening, no one even talks about this, is that new home builders are now raising prices because of lumber conditions.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They haven't
And
had lumber for a while.
They haven't, but it's gotten so distressed that builders are actually exercising parts of their clauses in their contracts that say we're going to raise your pricing because
crazy.
we've actually escalated past our cost basis.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of scary.
I mean, but they also make a shit ton of money. So
Well, they were going to, and then prices of lumber went up. And now they still need to, so they're going to put that onto us.
do you
We're
remember?
getting the rate.
Do you remember the time when when new homes weren't paying or builders weren't paying the real estate agents?
I feel like you
I've
guys
heard
are there
about
again.
that horror story.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
But I use
feel
a buyer
like it's
broker
coming.
agreement, so it doesn't really matter to me.
That's true, but at the same time, if you've got a client who is at their last like dollar and they're buying a new home,
If they're at
and they
their last
can't-
dollar, why are they buying something?
Hey,
don't know. I
because
don't
we like
know.
to max out our clients to make sure they can buy every single square inch of that house.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but even if they, I mean, like there are some people
Under
who
a
just can't
specific
afford to
denting
pay
ratio.
extra.
So,
And so they end up
when you
doing
can't
that through-
afford something, the good thing is to go out and buy more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The American dream.
That's what I was
But
going to say.
that's the
Isn't that what's
American
happening
dream.
right now with our stimulus and all that stuff.
Listen, every single one of us has $300,000 in debt right now that
I
we
don't.
didn't earn.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
don't either.
I don't like debt.
I still have a.
No, we do. It's
15-year-old
government
home.
debt. Every single tax-paying citizen.
Not mine.
Yep, you got 300 grand
not
in
it.
debt.
I'm not paying taxes. Yeah, I'm just
I know. I'm like,
listen.
Well, that's the end
if
of our
there's
show,
one
guys.
way,
May wanna
if
change the
there's
name of the
one way- if there's one way to get listeners, we'll just
goes
talk about all
behind-
sorts of
behind
illegal
the
shit that we
scenes.
do. How about that? Let's talk about Bitcoin for a minute. Did you invest?
Bitcoin.
I don't know. Why not?
Nope, I have not.
Wait, is that
Huh?
I do
blockchain
not
also?
own
Is that
any
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Do you not?
I
Are
don't
you
have an
afraid
itty
of it?
bit or a big bit.
Okay, but you have somebody on your team that really.
Hey, whatever floats his boat. I don't.
Oh, he never convinced you.
Nope. He convinced everybody else.
Everybody
why-
on your team
tell me-
is-
tell me
is,
why-
purchasing Bitcoin.
I don't know if everyone's doing it, but he's certainly Tyson certainly told everybody about
Well,
it.
he does have a show on it.
I think he
He
gets
has
a
a show
share.
now that he gets a cut of the coin.
He gets the more people that buy it, that makes his price. I get it.
Yeah. So why didn't you buy it?
I don't know. It's not like I wouldn't have done it or that I didn't care enough to do it. I just didn't. You know,
You just
just
cause.
didn't.
Just because it's not part of his strategy. He likes owner carries and what was the other
Yeah,
thing
you
we
want
were
to carry
talking-
some Bitcoin?
No, thank you.
Where do you carry it?
I'm not doing. I carry it on a ledger.
Wallet. A ledger.
Yeah, which is
I like
through the wallet.
tangible
It's called-
things that I can see and touch.
Yeah, is that what you tell your wife?
Oh, that's exposed.
That's exposed. All right, you guys. I'm done. Are you done? Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I have a ton of things we could talk about, but I don't know that.
Let's do it.
Oh, well, let's do it. Let's do it.
We're
We
here till 3
technically
o'clock.
have
No, I-
10 more minutes,
I'm
but
seriously,
we don't have to.
I'm seriously excited that I even had the opportunity to be on Real Estate Exposed, because you can't know that you're on a good show until you're on this one. I'm
And
just kidding. I
So is this
actually-
a cross
I really enjoyed
pollination
it.
or cross contamination party?
Yes.
Right?
yeah, we're not even going to play this episode ever again.
I
This is
actually have really
denied.
enjoyed this. This has been fun.
Yeah.
It really has. It really has.
Actually,
Yeah.
were you surprised?
I am a little surprised. I didn't know, like, I've kind of watched the show and I've enjoyed listening to
As
you
the
guys
peanut
talk
gallery.
about different things and
Yeah.
you know,
We
heckling
do
from
make
the
you
stage,
laugh every
but
week.
You do make me laugh every week. Yeah.
And you get some insight out of.
I definitely get some insight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brandon's telling us that we cannot quit early. But Brandon, you're not here.
Oh my gosh.
And-
Brandon Roberts
and-
in Costa Rica right
So,
I know.
so you know, it's interesting that he's been able to work so efficiently from there.
Oh, you say
Oh,
that,
he's
but
gonna
then
say
I don't know
because
if
of
you
the silly
remember.
app.
Why is your daughter calling me?
I don't know.
Is she okay?
I have no idea.
She might be wanting to call you. Should we put her live?
No, let's not do that.
Sorry, but you say that, but he was completely disconnected this morning during our
well,
meeting.
nobody was there. It just he had a Wi-Fi
Yeah.
thing. I have that in my office.
I have that in my office
Me
in
too.
Summerlin too. We don't have very good Wi-Fi in our
The,
offices.
the crazy thing is we do. It's just that for some reason in my
Exposed.
piece of that office, if I sit in one section, it sucks. But if I move to the other side of the room, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I've moved to the other side. I actually moved my office around.
Did
Got
you?
rid-
I was
I got rid of the
wondering
dead
why
weight.
you-
So
that was
Tyson
in
has a
there.
new spot.
I put Tyson in a new
Where's
spot.
Tyson at?
In another
I told him
office
to get his coin
altogether.
bag and get the hell out.
Enough of that.
Yeah, it's not actually in a bag. It's somewhere
I
in
know
the
it's in
air.
the cloud.
It's in the cloud somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone owns
so
it
you
somewhere.
took all
and
your
can-
hard-earned money and put it into a fictitious
all
item
of
that
it.
you don't know where it's at.
Just
It's
some
just
of it.
numbers.
Just some of
Blockchain.
it. I put it
So
in
they're
something.
Sounds like a
actually
good
doing
plan to
mortgages
me.
On that now.
Yeah, I put it into something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
We've
Same
actually
thing
had
for
clients buy
mortgage,
it.
actually.
Buy
So-
property with Bitcoin.
They're seeing that it's going to actually make our whole post-closing and closing more efficient because it's going to
Bitcoin?
reduce
Thank
the
God.
blockchain piece.
What
of it.
is blockchain?
Oh, the Main Street investors? Who's that?
Okay, we're gonna stop. Can we please stop
Cross-pollinating?
pollinating our
Connect-
shows,
promoting.
promoting?
But these are all
the-
shows within Signature Real Estate Group. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
right?
but you know, like you watch CBS and some shows are good and some shows are not. But you
What
have
are
to
you
get
trying
through
to
one
say,
show to
Chris?
get to the other.
That's how we connect the dots. Right?
I remember when I was a kid, I'd get home and I had to watch Cheers to get to Married with Children, right? I mean, that was how it went. But, you know,
That was a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
Cheers.
and
Is
no one
Cheers still
remembers what was
syndicated?
on before Cheers. That's how bad that show was.
Cheers was amazing.
Cheers was
Do you,
good.
look
The
at
show
these guys.
before Cheers.
Do you
Oh,
guys
yeah, I
even
don't
know
know.
what Cheers?
I don't know what that was.
Exactly. It
Yeah,
is the
that's a good
Friends
way to put
Before
it.
Friends. Yeah.
It was Three's Company.
No.
No.
Anybody remember
No.
Three's
I
Company?
think they
show
were their
sucked.
own.
Three's Company was pretty cool.
It was horrible.
That was a daytime
But if you
thing, though.
if you look at that, like when you see a picture of that house, of the interior of the family room, like you know where it came from, right? It's Three's Company. It was very obvious. I loved that show.
Three's Company?
Three's Company.
That was your favorite show, really?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was actually before my time, which I don't
It
understand.
can't be
how you-
before
Was
your
not.
time because you're older than I am.
I am
know.
not
Ooh.
older than you
Yes,
are.
you
are.
No, I'm not.
Uh-huh.
We're the same
We've
age.
talked about this.
No. When's your birthday?
September 17.
Okay, might be a couple months older. Shit.
Just what? Just by the actual day and month?
Yeah.
All right. So what else is going on in Las Vegas? What's a big deal? We've got
Restrictions are loosening
Flurries
up,
on
which is cool.
COVID.
restrictions
alert.
so restrictions for COVID are loosening up.
Yeah,
big
they're
time.
Yeah, they
the
open up
Cosmo's
more-
opening a buffet.
Cosmopolitan.
Are they really?
Yeah,
the
what do they
Wicked
call
Spoon?
Yes, that's it.
No way.
They said it's set up to be open back up, and I don't know that I'm going to rush out to a buffet right away, but I think that's really
Maybe
cool.
they'll serve.
Hakkasan is opening their sister property or their sister
Get
club.
out.
Yep, they're opening. So our client actually just sent him a message this morning. I'm like, hey, are you okay? He's like, yep, I'm good. I'm ready to get back to work. But they're gonna be
Wow.
a lounge, not a club up
Interesting.
front. Now their sister property at Caesars, their sister lounge at Caesars is also has already opened and everybo's
that
been
light?
Omni?
safe. I don't remember. I think it's
Omni.
Omni. Yeah,
Something like
has been.
I don't know why I know all this stuff.
Yeah, it's not like you go out.
Oh,
Oh,
saw
but
that on Cheers, did you?
yes.
Neither
Yeah,
Roxbury.
and they've been doing all the protocols and whatnot, and everybody's been safe so far. Nobody's gotten COVID, so
well,
they
I think
figured
we're
why it
opening
might
up,
as well.
right? Like,
I
Yeah.
think we're getting there. I think people
Yeah.
are starting to take getting the vaccine, and if we talked about it
2
in our
million
show.
doses a
There's
day.
yeah, and so they actually have what they call the waste line. Have you guys heard about this? The waste
I've had a waistline, yes.
WASTE, not WAIST.
Waste, oh.
Waste WASTE.
Expand
so
on that.
every single so funny, Chris. So every facility that has the COVID vaccinations has a waste line, and they like they take the product, right, and they have so many people that are set for appointments. If those people don't show up and they don't give shots to those
Yeah.
people, those
They
shots
run
are
out.
left over and have to be thrown away because they're no good after a certain amount of time.
Just like food.
And so just like food, it's got
Sorta.
an expiration
Best by
date on
date,
it. And
yeah.
so the waistline is for people who can wait in line for those who don't show up, and then they can get a shot.
so where do you wait for this?
Walgreens.
You can just go like
Any
I
of
know
the
Cashman's
Walgreens.
been pretty big. They've had a pretty big waist line. I've had friends that got it yesterday. A lot
And
of
they
friends
don't care-
actually.
They
that
don't
went-
care your age or your
They don't
job,
care
right?
about
That's
anything.
just to get
Yeah,
the-
they're like, look, we've got all of these vaccinations. We've got to give them to somebody.
'Cause they
It
mix
might
them
as well
up.
be you.
Yeah, it makes
I mean,
sense.
that's one less person that we got to worry about. And
How do you feel about
after
the
all this.
vaccination? Like I've heard people getting, like my mother got the first shot because she
Yeah.
was now up for her group and got it. She had a horrific reaction to the first one, which never happens, right? No one
Yeah.
ever has that
Yeah,
bad.
it's a
And she
second
did,
usually.
but they said that's great. They said that's really good news. It means your body is reacting really well.
Yeah.
And now she has to get the second one because she's kind of too far
She's
down
already
the road.
started. Yeah.
started the first
She already got the
process.
first, so she has no choice. So I've heard the same thing. My parents actually got the second one. I want to say they got Moderna and not
yeah.
the Pfizer. My understanding is Pfizer has less
Reactions.
reactions. Yeah, when you
I
when
think
you
it's
get
each person though. 'Cause
It
I've
could
heard
be.
both
I mean, it's
on
like the
both
virus,
sides.
right? I mean, it affects everybody differently.
And what is
but
it? You're 98%
98 to
secured?
99.
That's almost as good as a condom.
Or a pregnancy test. And so
Exposed.
so
Wait,
you
so as a
have-
realtor, are you guys considered essential that
We-
you can
Correct.
actually,
We've
you don't
been
have to
considered
donate
essential for
for
years.
For some reason,
for
on
months,
a couple
I
of the lists that people have promoted, they don't show realtors on there, and I don't know why that is. But we are considered, per the governor,
Essential.
here, essential. Yeah.
We've been essential since last year, so you
'Cause you
can
have to take
take
it on the shelter,
We
yeah.
can take
Yeah, shelter.
we can take our licenses, our business license, and our state
estate license,
real
yeah.
estate license, and actually
Yep.
go get our shot. and
So
get-
are you going to get your vaccinations?
I think that I had not planned on doing it right away or getting on a rush to do it or anything because my thought process is let the people who need it the most get it.
Yeah.
And I have not been as concerned about having one right away or any of that. And I talked with my wife about it yesterday, and I said, definitely I'm not saying I wouldn't get it. I had never really gotten flu shots. And I
Yeah,
have not had the
Me
flu
neither.
in
Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I couldn't get it. It just means I have not had it or been,
You've
and
been
they
able
say
to
that's
fight
good
it
and
off
that's
either way.
bad.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. I mean, I was telling my wife, what about our daughter? She's 13, and how do you feel about your kids getting it? When their time coming up.
Getting the
the shot, the
vaccination.
vaccination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it or talked
Yeah,
to them
because
about
you
it?
think about all the different vaccinations, and you're like, I'm not the woman one that came out, and you're like, all the kids that are girls that are like 10, you have to get them to get this shot. I'm like, I'm not letting her get that shot. Like, I can't even remember what it was for. You have boys, so you probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh,
But it's-
HPV.
Yes.
HPV.
Yeah.
Yep, HPV.
And I
So-
fought that with
Kids get a lot
Dude,
of shots.
Yeah.
Anything I
A
say
lot
to
of shots.
my son right now, he's like, well, you don't care if I get cancer. I'm like, you can't get HPV, you can't get cancer from HPV. It's a woman's thing. You can carry it, but you can't, just stop. I'm like, just don't hold hands with girls. You won't
interesting
get
to
it.
me is they've done a lot of research.
Ever.
Your kids
Ever.
have done a lot of
Ever.
research on it, right?
No, because
He's read something that told him that he-
No,
Yeah,
he said, "Why am I not getting that shot, Mom?" We
Read
were
it.
at the doctor's
Yeah.
office. He said, "Why? Can you stop?" He said, "Why am I not getting that shot, Mom?" So I told him, I said, "Go look it up. It's actually on the
Yes.
door. There's
And it's for
right,
women,
And go read
females.
it.
Has
Read about
pictures.
it. I'm not of the belief that you should get shots just for the sake of getting shots, right?
You
And
are
I
or
didn't-
not of the
No,
belief?
I'm
Yeah,
not of
okay.
the belief. I don't, and I've never gotten a flu shot either. Like never.
I know
and
I've
been
had one
good.
when I was a kid when I had to do shots and they would give them. But in my adult life, which
Yeah.
has been a little while now, I have not like gone and said, "Oh, I need my flu shot
Yeah.
right now."
Yeah.
But again, I haven't had the flu, which is interesting, and I drink enough alcohol to make sure nothing can live in
Right.
me.
Me
Same.
too.
So I'm not.
Same.
I'm not saying
We're
it's
good.
because of the shot or not because of the shot, but
It's the alcohol that keeps us sane. So I made him read it, and so now he's just like, well,
Yeah.
you want me to get cancer? So he hasn't done enough research,
Sure.
And he also hasn't done enough research on it because I did tell him that if he holds a girl's hand, that he'll get it, and so he.
He's not
false
that.
advertising.
He's brighter
So
than
he
that.
is now
Come
14. He is a bright kid. I'm sure he's done some research or asked some friends or whatever.
I think
but-
it's going to just become that thing where to travel or to, I had a client the other day that asked me about, have you had the vaccination yet? And it didn't come from like, hey, I just want to know. It came from the concern of, hey, before we go out and look, just want to make
Their
sure
concern.
I know where I stand kind of thing. And I think that, in some circles of our business, it will be just that piece. Like if I want to travel, I need to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If my kid wants to go sit in a classroom, she has to have it. And I think that's what we're going to see happen. I mean, send a kid to school right now, they have to go through a whole list of shots that they
Yeah.
have to get. And
without the pandemic.
yeah, it has nothing to do with COVID or anything, but that's just a requirement for your kid to go to school. And I think that's just where this is going. And it'll be
Yeah.
an adult requirement to interact in life and business and everything else. And I think I'm not opposed to it. I'm not upset about it. I just, it's not that thing that it's like Zillow to me. I don't really care in some parts.
You're just
Yeah.
doing life. So have your kids gone back to school?
They're not going back for this
Same.
year.
Well, my daughter's still in school.
Like live?
I mean, they've been in
Not live,
school
but at home.
online.
Yeah,
Yeah,
online.
So we're on the cohort C.
have
or
you had
whatever
your
it
kid
is.
not do an assignment while they're sitting at home?
Oh, my God.
And then lie to you about doing it?
It frustrates the hell out of me. So it happened.
What are you
Did I just
talking
tell you
about?
this story?
No, I had
It
it
happened to
happen.
me
My
2
daughter's
years, 2
straight
days ago.
A's, and she didn't turn in an assignment. And now they text you from the school saying, I'm like,
Yes.
how did you think we wouldn't know?
Yeah. Well, I check my kids
I don't have
every
those
day. I
problems.
go into their Google every
I
day.
bet you check your
Every
Bitcoin
day?
I
price
go
every day,
into
too.
no, that I only do once in a while. Also, my weight
Oh,
once
what?
a week. But we go in. I go into their Google Classroom now.
Yeah.
Julie actually taught me. So I
What?
was going into. I'm telling you, man, it's been so frustrating trying to get them to stay on task and get all of their work done during this time. I mean, I'm in the other room and I'm in the middle of meetings and
Yeah.
talking to buyers and potential sellers or whatnot, and I've got my kids not doing anything on.
What are they
on their-
doing?
They're playing video games, watching YouTube.
Shut the games off.
I know, and so I got it.
Why
Sorry,
she doesn't
guys.
watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know what it is that they're doing because they're in their rooms. But
The
it's
other
been
thing that bothers
frustrating.
me is, so my daughter didn't turn in an assignment. We made her do the assignment no matter what because she had to learn her lesson on that,
Yeah.
whether she got credit or not.
Yeah.
And then she turned it in, and guess what?
What
They gave her credit.
I know that's.
I mean, that would have never happened when I was a
Nope.
kid. If
Yeah.
we missed an assignment in class and didn't turn in,
Yeah.
we got an F,
Yeah.
right? And for her, they gave her an A because she finished it. And I'm like, well,
Good
that
for
really
her.
showed her.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, I think they're just trying to be. And here's the thing: like we're going through,
empathetic.
Yeah,
That's
I think
the
they're
word,
just
yeah.
trying to be empathetic about it
Of
all.
everything.
So,
yeah.
anyways, what else do we have here? We're at 2:20. Nobody says you have to be here, by the way. You
Yeah,
guys
just-
can all leave.
I just want to say that if you're enjoying watching the screen right now and these lovely people,
Yes.
that you can check in about 30 minutes to.
Oh, yes.
To watch us
the
again.
Weekender.
To
What
watch us
exactly do you guys
again.
talk about? What's the premise of your show?
The whole idea is kind of wrapping up the week here at Signature, the week in the real estate market. Great guest speakers like yourself that just kind of come in and share what's going on in your life.
Did Beta
Also,
cut
how
us
come
off
only
already?
Knock on our door. Gives Beta something to do between 3 and 3:30.
I know. Apparently, he's
episode are
just
you on?
busy.
76.
70. What episode are we on?
Hundred
You are.
thousand.
100,000.
No, we've been on for like 7 years, and we took a hiatus, and then we came back. So I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah,
It's
can
been
we
a
get
while.
the stats on that?
Sure.
Next
Sure.
show.
Would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Maybe
Yeah.
Brandon can look that up.
Brandon,
while he's doing
while
nothing,
you're hanging out in the
Costa
pool,
Rica.
when you're hanging out in the pool, you just look up how many episodes we're on so that we can talk about it. So this show is going to be called The Cross Contamination.
Yeah.
And we are thankful to have you here. Thank
Did you
so
ask
much,
him about
Chris.
his car and all that other stuff?
No, we didn't. I didn't ask him. Yeah, what was your first car ever?
A Chrysler Sebring.
What
Of
color?
course it was.
It
White.
was silver.
Silver.
And
Was it convertible?
No, yeah, right. It was the upgraded version though. I had like the RT is for Dodge. It was something like that. It was actually a really great car, and I ended up selling it to my brother. And the reason I sold it to him is because he went out and drove it around the golf course that we lived on, and like wrecked it. And so I thought, oh, he can have it now. I'll go buy it.
It's broken.
And then I bought my
I
dream
licked
car,
it.
which was
It's yours.
a Z71 Tahoe. That was the car I always wanted, and I got one. Yeah.
Nice. And
What happened to it? That's a good question. I sold it and got another. I kept it for a long time.
you know they're not on the show, right? You don't have to respond to
know.
the peanut gallery.
But I do enjoy their comments.
because they're not here. Just pretend like they're not here.
No, I'm good.
And then your favorite Girl Scout cookie.
Something with peanut butter.
Tag-alongs, yeah.
There's
Peanut
a
butter.
lot of people
Well,
that
it's
like
still
that in the
tagging along with
Samoas.
me, let me tell you.
All right. Well, you guys, thanks so much for joining us today on Real Estate Exposed. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
Smash that notification button.
smash that notification button. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Bye.
See you next week.